Let me mute all of us.
Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end. Everybody three, count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what am I doing?
There's a 1, there's a 2. Oh!
Wow.
Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3 Count Thursday, live right here on our Facebook page. We are glad to be with you tonight. It is Thursday, September 24th, 2020. We are still the podcast of the millennium. We have tons to talk about this week, including remembering a legend, predicting a pay-per-view, and retribution revealed. But first, make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. That is our homepage. You can find all of our social media links, our YouTube channel, and much more over there. You can also check out our merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver!
Thank you, Tim. You can also check out our home network, NGSC Sports, at ngscsports.com. We also stream daily at leapsports.com. Ryan, that would be?
LEEIBsports.com.
That's the one. And then make sure you subscribe to us on all the podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere you can find podcasts, you can subscribe to us. And make sure you do that. Leave a rate and review if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts. I'd appreciate that. I don't have the soundboard this week. Obviously, things look a little bit different behind me. A little bit of construction in Studio L this week. Making sure that it is water safe moving forward, no floods or anything in it. So we had that done. We'll be back. I'll be back in studio next week. But Ryan, how you doing this week?
Jim, very good. I don't have much more than that, although I just found out today that a group of mongooses is called a mob.
Very good. I did not know that, so I learned something today. Tim, how are you?
I'm great. Did you know that toddlers are named toddlers because they toddle?
I didn't know that either, so I've learned something else today. Holy
But
crap,
I actually didn't know that. That's the irony of it. I was walking out of the mall this weekend, and one of my friends was just toddling along, and I happened to say the word toddle. It's not a word I use all the time. And I said it, and I was like, wait, is that why toddlers are named toddlers? And just all 3 girls just turned and looked at me and went, where have you been? I'm like,
never knew it.
Today, right here.
Never knew that. Matt, how are you? You going to teach
Doing
me?
well. doing well this week. We've got the Laser Snake from Three Floyds on tap tonight. So I'm doing well.
Awesome.
And I don't have any fun facts. Did you know that Ryan actually likes Cameron more than Big Jim did?
I actually did know that one. I actually knew that one beforehand. But thank you for reminding everybody if they didn't know. And intern Mark, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Good, real good. I've got a little bit of information for you, too, since we're sharing fun facts. Did you know that the Pillsbury Doughboy, his real name is Poppin' Fresh, but he has a son and a daughter?
I did not know that.
How about that?
I have
What are their names?
We got, well, that's a good question. Their names are, it's Popper is the boy and Bun Bun is the girl.
I love it.
I never knew that.
I knew Poppin' Fresh. I knew
Poppin' Fresh.
Yep.
He has a wife, Mrs. Poppin' Fresh.
Yep.
So Poppin'
There's
Fresh
a
is
grandmother,
last
the
name.
grandfather. There's an uncle.
It sounds like the people from McDonald's land. How just everybody has a name. There's Ronald, and there's Mayor McCheese, and there's the Hamburglar, Birdie.
Do the Fry Guys have a name, or are they just?
I think
the
they're
Fry
just all
Guys?
collectively the Fry Guys.
Of course, the Grimace.
Grimace.
Oh, Grimace.
Isn't there an officer too, like a police officer?
Yeah, Big Mac.
Big Mac.
He was the police officer.
Yep.
What was the
Mayor
McCheese?
Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, there's a Mayor McCheese, and wasn't there a
There was like a chicken or something, right?
Yeah, that was Birdie, the early bird.
Yeah, and wasn't at one time wasn't there a St. Patty's Day like version of Grimace or something?
Yeah, he was green.
Bizarro
I don't
Grimace.
remember his name, but I know.
Yeah, I was going
It
to
was
say I
a
don't
green
remember
Grimace.
if somebody remembers the St. Patty's Day mascot from McDonald's, please let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate that. Yeah, Jason says jumping right into the wrestling talk today. Absolutely.
Is this your first time listening to us?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you
It's
new?
a great name.
It's
It
my
is
goal.
Uncle.
It would be my goal to make this podcast one half wrestling. Like 2 hours, 60 minutes of it is only wrestling. Everything else is not wrestling.
I feel like if you go through and wade through our shit, it's probably 60-60.
It's close.
50-50. However you want to look at it.
120% of a
60-50.
podcast. Everyone?
Yes. That's why we're the podcast of the millennium. Because we
the
give it
Green
120%.
The Green Grimace was known as Uncle O'Grimacy.
Oh my God. Get the hell out of here.
That's fantastic. And everybody said that Mace and Bleep Zork Von Raw was terrible name. But don't worry, we'll get there. Hey, I'm glad we had a little fun here at the top, but obviously some sad news yesterday. Yes, Ryan.
How are you doing?
Besides the different landscape for me this week, I'm doing pretty well.
And follow up, how many times have you worn that blood and guts shirt?
Zero. If I could wear it negative, yeah. How awful is that shirt, right?
So bad.
What's more awful? The blood and gut shirt or hearing that Animal died on his anniversary?
I'm gonna go with Animal passing away.
I don't think you can compare those two.
I'm trying to do a really horrible segue.
Yeah, that is a very bad segue, but yes,
It worked. We got there.
It did. Yesterday, I believe Hulk Hogan was the first person to break the news.
Yeah.
It was like 8. It was like 8 something yesterday morning. I saw it come across, and I'm like, hold on, timeout. So obviously we immediately just try figuring out if it's real or not. And I think it was about an hour or so later, obviously, Joe Laurinaitis, Animal of the Road Warriors, real world Animal, as I once called him. Great moment for me. But passed away at the age of 60. Of course, one half the Road Warriors Legion of Doom, career spanning over 4 decades. Just some of the highlights: All Japan Tag Champ, AWA Tag Champ, NWA World Tag Champ and three-time six-man tag champ. He was a three-time WWF/WWE Tag Champ. WWE Hall of Fame Class 2011, of course, with Paul Ellering and Hawk. The Road Warriors were the number one tag team in the PWI 100 of the PWI years back in 2003. They were in the NWA Hall of Fame 2012, NWA Legends Hall of Heroes 2016, and this year's Cauliflower Alley Club's Tag Team Award. So, and that's just a sampling of the accolades of the career of Animal. We'll go around the room here. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind? Road Warriors, Animal, and specifically, obviously. I think for me, just I was never, I was always a WWF kid, so it wasn't until the late 80s, early 90s, right when I started watching wrestling, that they came into the WWF. And as a 5-6-year-old kid at the time, the spiked shoulder pads and things, and I remember they had like the foam ones in the WWE shop, and I can't remember if I got a set of those or not that they would have fit over my unbelievably large head even at that age. They were just something very different, I feel like, than what the WWF had at the time. And and then obviously throughout the years, and I think even their return in the WWF when they were like LOD 2000 and they had Sonny with them, and then after Hawk's passing, he's teaming with Heidenreich and just stayed in the business. And it was a career that stood the test of time. And I thought that their episode of Dark Side of the Ring that aired just this springtime was a pretty neat look into their career. But I mean, just when you talk tag teams, and it, I put the question of the week for this week, which is the Mount Rushmore of tag teams. I had that scheduled on our social media since last weekend, but it's the timing turns out to be just coincidental. But I mean, you're talking one of the best tag teams of all time. Ryan, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, just kind of looking back, I was really blessed to have worked a show with Animal when we did a show with the Pro Wrestling Empire. We've also, I think it was Matt and I, it was like two tables down from us at one of the Icon shows, and just a really fun, upbeat guy to be around. And then really what stood out is, and again, I'm 6'3", 320, 330. But like he's just so big. Like WWE guys are just so big. That's really what sticks out, is he just seemed like a really fun, genuine guy, the way he interacted with some other people. And it was just really awesome to be able to like work a show with Road Warrior Animal.
Tim, how about you?
Animal's always going to be, at least in my mind, one of the blueprints of like the original pro wrestler. Big, meaty guy, strong, looked like he could actually beat you up. And that's what the big appeal of the Road Warriors were. I mean, you got to remember when they were debuting with Jim Crockett Promotions, they were beating teams before they cut the theme off. They're coming out to Iron Man and beating a team while Iron Man's going. And then they're done. I'm always going to remember Animal's Power Slam. Literally like one of the best power slams in all of the history of wrestling. Like I put his Power Slam up there with like Earthquake's Power Slam. Like to me, Earthquake's Power Slam #1, Animal's #2. Actually #3. There's a guy in the middle. We'll talk about him one day. Probably in the next segment. But either way, Animal's a great great power guy, really solid in the tags. You mentioned him working primarily with Hawk, with his time with Heidenreich as well. You also got to remember the point in times in his career, like in the mid to late 90s, he was out with a back issue. He had struggled with back problems for a while, and then he comes back and he goes away and he comes back. That's why we got Kensuke Sasaki as the Power Warrior in the mid 90s, because just Animal was out. But definitely sad to hear, especially the timing of it all, when it got announced and how it got announced. It's really horrible to hear. And I mean, I hope there's no foul play. I hope it's just a big dude just having a heart attack for just being big, and that's about it. And like, that's that's what I hope. But definitely a huge loss for
and it definitely, it definitely sounds like it was something sudden like that, because I know a post from his son that had played in the NFL, James Laurinaitis. He's on Instagram, so they didn't have a chance to say goodbye. So it sounds like it was a sudden thing. Unfortunately, with a lot of the guys from our childhood, it was. It tend to be kind of heart attacks and things like that. But if you're following along with us live here in the video, leave us a chat, maybe a thought, memory of Animal and the Road Warriors, obviously. Matt, your thoughts here.
Yeah, so a lot of what was being shared this week was yesterday was just a lot of good memories. Conventions, shows. A lot of people in the industry just kind of sharing what he meant to them, just as like kind of a voice, always willing to spend the time with a fan to just kind of tell stories. That's what sticks out to me the most, is just the amount of time, like Ryan said, a couple tables down from us at a convention, and the line moved slow because he made sure to take the time and just kind of interact with everyone who was there to meet him. So it just kind of showed how important the business was to him still, years after he retired, and the time that he would spend with wrestlers, kind of giving them pointers, telling them, how to come up in the industry. And that's a lot of what I saw on social media yesterday, was just different wrestlers sharing, a moment that they had with him. And there were tons of them. I mean, obviously, with us having some involvement in wrestling, we're connected to a lot of them, but my post feed was just flooded with people sharing memories. So it's definitely a big loss for wrestling. Very unexpected. I mean, you just kind of know who he was. You say Road Warrior Animal, and people get it. They're like, oh yeah, I know who that is, even if they're not big wrestling fans.
Right. Yeah. And Devin here in the chat says, he was on that same show, that PWE show, and said he seemed like a really nice guy when he had the kind of a split second interaction with him. And I think that's kind of been the theme of everything that I've seen from people, is that just seemed like a super nice guy. Intern Mark, how about you?
Well, let's see. I cannot remember that PWE show that he was on. That must have been what I missed. I think I only missed one. But anyway, I never got to meet Animal or Hawk, but I did see them perform live a few times. And remember the one time when I first saw them, when they came to the WWF, they were teaming up with the Ultimate Warrior for a TV taping. And I think they took on all three members of Demolition at the time. And I remember the place just going nuts when they came out. Because even in the early 90s, I guess it was like 91, 92, they were still just as popular as ever. But even people who weren't wrestling fans, or they were flipping through channels and you saw the Road Warriors, they were a team. When you looked at them, you'd be like, okay, maybe that other team's kind of not so sure about them, but that's real. But those guys are real, because they were that tough and really that good in the ring. They were incredible. And it is a huge loss to the wrestling world. So it's sad to see them go.
Yeah, it's it's been a sad week locally here in the wrestling community here in Central PA. Chris Valentine was a fan that has been a lot of local shows. I know he used to watch our shows here from time to time and comment and interact with us. Unfortunately, passed away from cancer, and friend of the show, former guest, the Red Scorpion, lost his mother this week. So it's been a rough week. So for everybody, who's hurting and everything right now, just our thoughts are with you and hang in there. But obviously, Animal. Any other thoughts? I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the Road Warriors coming up here in a little bit when we talk about our question of the week, because I think it's going to be hard to talk about the best tag teams of all time without talking about them. But if there's any other specific things about Animal that we can add them here, or we can move on.
I got just two little things. Sure. Always found it very interesting that Hawk was a Minnesota guy, and Animal was from Philadelphia, but the team themselves always build from Chicago. I never really know why. I don't know why. I've tried to look it up this week since the passing, and I've not been able to find the reason that they're built from Chicago.
I think it's where they met each other.
Is that okay? Just a story.
If remember, I'm trying to remember.
I thought they met in Memphis or in Minnesota because they were both bouncers at Grandma B's.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, I'm not sure why.
But it's weird because I don't think I gotta do some quick research. But
you can, and I'm not upset.
Was Ellering from Chicago? Maybe. Is that why?
I mean, obviously, it's just their LOD. I don't think they were, as the Road Warriors, built from Chicago. Maybe they were. I don't even know.
Lex Luger was also built from Chicago, too.
It's the Windy City. It's very breezy.
Yeah. What?
Also, while you're looking that up, it's a neat little fact, I suppose. Animal was actually in the main event of 2001's WCW Sin pay-per-view.
The last pay-per-view.
And it just kind of goes to where
the
second to last pay-per-view, he was in the Four Corners WCW World Heavyweight Championship match as a singles wrestler. He took on Scott Steiner, Jeff Jarrett, and Sid Vicious, in which Scott Steiner won that crazy Four Corners match in under 8 minutes.
What? A Four Corners match in under 8 minutes. That sounds like the end of WCW. And I looked up Ellering. He was a Minnesota guy as well. So yeah, I'm not necessarily sure where the Chicago thing came from. Maybe it's just
somebody in the comments, and they can email us whatever our email is.
Yeah, 3CountThursday@gmail, or if you get it while we're on the air, hit us up in the comments. But yeah, I think maybe because I love SummerSlam '90 when after the LOD spoiled the tag team match for Demolition. I just remember like the way Animal delivered the promo, like the tempo of it, like the tempo and like time signature, if you will, like if it was in music terms, was very distinct. At least that one, that's the one that stands out to me. But yeah, definitely kind of one of a kind guy. Those guys were definitely set themselves apart. So again, passing away yesterday at the age of 60. So sad news there. But we're gonna press on here, and again, like and share the video if you're following along with us. We'd appreciate that. We do have 3 birthdays. Stephanie McMahon, born in 1976. Shane Thorne, you may know him now as Slapjack, was born in 1985. And Sonia Deville, former guest of this show, 1993. So those are your birthdays, and we have a couple of items that happened. Back in 1963, Guerrero, father of Eddie, Hector Chavo, and Mando Guerrero, and grandfather of Chavo Guerrero Jr., defeats Ali Bay in El Paso, Texas, to win the NWA World Light Heavyweight title for a second time. In 1984, Greg Valentine defeats Tito Santana in London, Ontario, Canada to win the WWF Intercontinental Heavyweight title. The Santana-Valentine feud would continue to rage on for almost a full year, with Santana winning the title back on July 7th of 1985 in a tag match. In 2000, WWF Unforgiven took place at the then First Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The show was headlined by The Rock defeating Chris Benoit, Kane, and The Undertaker in a fatal four-way match to retain the WWF Championship. This one also, if you remember, had a hardcore battle royal that saw the title change hands 3 times during the battle royal. Don't remember that at all, but apparently it happened. 2006, at the conclusion of TNA's No Surrender pay-per-view, a video package announces that former WWF World Champion and Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle would be coming to the company. TNA then issued a press release announcing the signing of Angle and the fact that Spike TV had decided to give the company a primetime slot on Thursday nights. And finally, in 2010, former Ring of Honor champion Tyler Black makes his final appearance on the independent circuit, having signed a WWE developmental deal. Of course, you now know Tyler Black as Seth Rollins. These are all the items that occurred September 24th in pro wrestling history.
Wow. I didn't know that was Kurt Angle Day.
Yeah, I had no clue myself.
That entire saga, like him getting his release, like his outright release from WWE, because do you guys remember the story? Were you guys in wrestling at that point? Like,
I think that was kind of my downtime ish.
Okay.
So it doesn't stick out to me.
So Kurt Angle running hard, running fast, and he's in the ECW brand, the WWE ECW. WWE wants him to take a sabbatical to get clean, get right, and Kurt's like, nah, don't want to.
And he's like, hey, screw you, pal.
Well, and WWE was like, we really want you to take some time off. Kurt was like, you know what? I don't want a sabbatical. Give me my release. I'll go to rehab. I'll get cleaned up and I'll come back. So they gave him his outright release. Wow. No questions asked. Just cut him. Let him go. And then immediately shows up on Impact and cuts that promo after No Sacrifice. Wow. It's real. It's damn real. And everybody's like, what in the heck is going on?
Who the hell is this?
Like, if Jim had been a fan of wrestling back then, Kurt Angle would still be dead to him.
It's true. It's damn true.
Why? What did Kurt do to you?
Because he left the WWE.
Oh,
obviously.
Come on, man.
Hey, I got to stay on brand.
That's really true.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm trying to think when was whenever WrestleMania 26 was, which would have been it would have been like 2010. That's what would have
2009.
It would have been
2010. Yeah.
It would have been 2010.
Yep.
That's really what got me back into it. So, I mean, I was aware, like I it's not that I was like completely gone from watching wrestling, but it wasn't anywhere close to the level that I watch it now or prior to like 2003. It was just like a 6-7 year window that I was kind of out of the game a bit because I was too busy being in college and then being a drain on life.
Sure.
But I was like I said, I was aware Angle went there, but I didn't know any of the backstory. We did have the
3 count question of the week
this week, and it was kind of kicking back to our Mount Rushmore series. I thought we never did the tag teams. So let's do that this week and kind of lay out who would be our top 4 tag teams personally. So why don't we work from the bottom up, like our number 4, we'll go around number 3 and then work our way up to number 1. So my number 4 is Edge and Christian. Like when I think of more modern tag teams, I know that was still what 15, 20 years ago. WrestleMania 16, this was 36, so it's 20 years. But those guys, along with one tag team that's on my list and one that didn't quite make the cut, were kind of reinvented tag team wrestling in the late 90s and early 2000s, and just some of the ridiculous matches, the TLC matches and different things, and the crazy cam and all that stuff. But just the for those with flash photography, the promos, the humor, just when you think of a tag team, they're right up there as just about as perfect as you can get. Ryan, you're number 4.
I didn't necessarily do mine in order, so let me readjust in my head real quick. All right, it's fine. I will go. My number 4 tag team is not as well known to WWE crowds. I will say
Chronic, I'm going to kick you off of this Zoom feed.
Why would I? Chronic was in the WWF. Everybody knows about Chronic. It is the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson. I think these guys transcend, time, quite frankly. I think they've wrestled in 3, 4 different. I don't freaking know. They're old as hell. They're still going today. Was able to see them on an indie show. Really, really cool guys. Great to see their shtick and what they do. So Rock and Roll Express, etch them on my Mount Rushmore.
Tim, what do you got there?
Oh, yes.
What is that?
It's steak and potatoes, baby.
Body by steak.
Whole steak. I got some greens over here too. I got a little baby salad with some curts and some chase and some fruits, and then a light raspberry vinaigrette on top.
Ooh.
Because
give her top suspect.
Because I am a raspberry vinaigrette guy. I don't like ranch dressing.
Tim, do you have any of that Hodecker celery on the side there? I can't tell.
Nah, man, we don't have that in Maryland. Unfortunately, no Hodecker celery in Maryland.
Mark, you'll have to get a shipment and get it delivered down there on the weekly. Tim, let's go to your number 4 tag team here on your Mount Rushmore.
So, I'm really struggling with coming up with like a number 4 because I have like a solid top 3.
Ooh.
So my number 4 is going to be the Road Warriors. For the simple fact of what they meant to tag team wrestling in the era they came up in, being so iconic, larger than life, the heyday of them going in Japan and going crazy, pretty much being like, they were one of the first teams that really went as they pleased. It seemed like they were always just wherever they wanted to be. AWA, NWA, WWF, back to WCW, back to WWF, into Japan, wherever. All those crazy pictures you saw of not the New Day, but of the Dudleys going around with all the title belts, that was the Road Warriors first.
Yeah, Road Warriors done that first.
Yeah, they did that first. So, Hawk, Animal, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, number 4.
Very good. Matt, how about you?
For me, I have to stay on brand as well. So my number 14 poster's right behind me. It's going to be D-Generation X. Just for the longevity purposes, Shawn and Triple H, well past the time that they should have been wrestling, not too long ago, we got to see them as a tag team again. So that aside, they still, put a lot of fun back into wrestling. I think made a lot of fans, made the Attitude Era kind of what it was. So they would be my pick, the Shawn and Triple H faction of DX. And there were some other DX-ish tag teams on my honorable mentions too.
Very good. Intern Mark, how about you? Who is your number 4?
Number 4, this was hard, but I went with the Hart Foundation. That would be, I'm going to go with the original version with Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Brett the Hitman Hart. Because those guys back in the mid to late 80s, they were some great tag team wrestlers. Those were the days. The Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, or the Hart Foundation, the Killer Bees, or whomever you want to put in there. Strike Force. That was some good stuff.
Man, I'm
Or
sorry.
the Can-Am connection.
All right, let's see here. Couple comments. William had the Freebirds at number 4. Devin has Edge and Christian. Charlie gives us, in no particular order, Rock and Roll, Midnight's, Freebirds, and Dudley's as his 4 best tag teams. Moving along, number 3, they kind of go hand in hand with Edge and Christian to me, and that's the Hardy Boys. I mean, I remember when they were the, if you look at pictures of the original Hardy Boys, they look like the Young Bucks in the early to mid '90s wrestling in WWF, and I think is Jeff's the younger one, right? And I think he was like 16 or 17 at the time. He was not 18 yet, but they got him in and working, and obviously the great matches with Edge and Christian, the return at WrestleMania in Orlando, and the huge pop and winning the tag team there, basically striking Enzo and Cass from their title opportunity in the WWE. I think that was the beginning of end for those guys. So to me, that puts the Hardy Boys on the list. But just, I mean, career spanning 3. I mean, obviously they're still in the business now, but as a tag team in 3 decades, and I'd be shocked if they didn't reunite somewhere before they are both done in the business. And their quest of gold through the Indies and TNA and all of that, like they were the MCW tag champs. I think Ryan, you and Matt were at the show in Joppa for that. Like just and just super inventive. Great work always from the Hardy Boys. Ryan, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, and if you've not been to Joppa, Maryland, it is beautiful this time of year.
Beautiful.
So nice. Jim, so by order of elimination, you said one of the 3 didn't make it.
That's correct.
I feel like you had left off the best of the 3. The Dudley Boys are my 3rd. They are a 1-time WWE Penny Champion, a 8-time WWF World Tag Team Champion, a 1-time WWE WCW Champion, an NWA World Tag Team Champion, 2-time TNA Champion, 2-time IWGP Tag Team Champion, and an 8-time ECW Tag Team Champion. These guys have done it all. They absolutely deserve a spot on Mount Rushmore.
All right, so Ryan's got the Dudleys at 3. Tim, how about you?
So I have the Hart Foundation at number 3. They could match up against any style of team, whether it's 2 big bruisers like Demolition, whether they're going against 2 speed guys like the Rockers, whether they're against going 2 technical guys like the Rougeau brothers. Nobody quite did tag team wrestling like the Hart Foundation. I mean, even so, you look now, you give credit to the Revival for being a great tag team. They're just doing the Hart Foundation stuff. They're doing either Hart Foundation Demolition, or they're doing Hart Foundation Rockers, or they're doing something. But it all goes back to the Hitman and the Anvil. So that is number 3. Brett the Hitman, Jim the Anvil, the Hart Foundation.
Very good. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, for me, it was the Hardy Boys in at 3. For all the reasons that you stated, and again, longevity with them, doing the moves that they were doing and still being in the business to this day. Very impressive for them. Really got tag team wrestling back on the map with ENC and the Dudleys. So I think, their style is what really kind of kept the crowds in. And I think that plays an important role. So got to give them the nod at number 3.
All right, intern Mark, how about you?
Number 3, I'm going to go with Arn Anderson, and really any partner you gave him. But now if I had to pick one, I'd say Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. But really, though, if you think about Arn Anderson, perhaps one of the best tag team wrestlers ever. It didn't matter if he was in there paired up with a guy like Paul Roma or Bobby Eaton, or I mean, there was dozens of them. But I really think Anderson and Blanchard, the two of the original Horsemen, then of course the Brain Busters in the WWF, I would put them up there on that Mount Rushmore without question.
All right, looking at the comments here, Devin has Edge and the Dudley Boys at number 3. Charlie takes the Midnights off of his and adds in the Steiners. The Steiners were one that was close to my top 4, but didn't quite make the cut. So again, if you're following along in the live video, give it a like, give it a share. We'd appreciate that. My number 2 is the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, and just kind of everything we were talking about at the start. They were big, they were strong, they worked so well together. They went everywhere, anywhere and everywhere they wanted to. The Doomsday Device as a finisher, just they when I think of tag team wrestling, they're one of these teams that will always be right at the forefront of my mind. So I have the Road Warriors at number 2. Ryan, how about you?
I have this one was the one I kicked around the most. As a tag team, I don't think they've done a whole bunch, but their actions and what they did is paramount to professional wrestling the way we know it today, and really was the spark that ignited the Attitude Era. So my number 2 team would be the Outsiders. Really for those reasons alone, the actions that they saw, those brief promos on WCW TV, you know who I'm here, or you know who I am, you don't know why I'm here, whatever. It's just it's iconic what they did. So the Outsiders, number 2.
All right, Tim, how about you? Number 2.
So it may be a little blasphemy to put a team that is still somewhat active on a Mount Rushmore. I can understand that. And while they're not necessarily the best tag team wrestlers in the company, I am going with the New Day at 2. If this conversation were Mount Rushmore of tag team wrestlers, Cesaro is number 1. Period.
Yeah, I talked about that before.
Hands down. Cesaro is number 1. Bobby Eaton's number 2. Arn Anderson's number 3. Like, those are the top 3 dudes of tag team wrestling. But the New Day itself, when they're finally done, when Kofi, E, and Xavier are finally done, they're gonna be on the top. You want to talk about a team that stick together the longest? They are a team. Everything they do is about each other, inside and outside of the ring. They've taken the Freebird rule and made it something completely insane. Even having specific matchups that work well. The iconic matches that they had with Kid and Cesaro, the iconic matches that I could watch a Usos New Day match right now. Like, absolutely right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, period. That kickoff match with, it was Kid and Cesaro, the Usos, the New Day, and Los Matadors at like WrestleMania.
Arriba.
Why that was a kickoff, I have no idea. But to me, Kofi, Big E, and Xavier are the second best tag team ever.
All time good place.
If I have to pick a lineup from the New Day, if I can only pick 2, it's Big E and Kofi.
Okay.
I like the traditional New Day tag lineup.
Well,
Best.
and Xavier out on the sideline or out on the outside with the trombone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you know that would be the team that I would pick as well.
Yeah,
with
just because
them.
when Xavier's in the ring or when he is a tag team featured, he's like, and this is no disrespect, but he's a lesser version of the guy he's replacing.
Okay.
He's a little bit slower than Kofi, a little less dynamic than Kofi, or he's a little bit weaker than Biggie, not as explosive as Biggie.
Right.
I've always loved the big man, little man tag teams. But it is the New Day number 2.
All right, Matt, how about you? Who's your number 2?
Before I name it, Tim, if you're putting Cesaro teams in the Mount Rushmore behind Kings of Wrestling, who are the other 3?
The bar is really good. Kid and Cesaro are fantastic. And it's tough because I want to see more of this pairing with Shinsuke. And but yeah, I'm gonna go probably Nakamura as 4th.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I love the Real Americans, but to me, Cesaro now better than Cesaro then.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, for me, Jim, you'll appreciate this. Number 2, Hart Foundation. I give you shit, but there's no denying the talent that was on that team, the importance of them to tag team wrestling. It's just a lot of pure good wrestling when the Hart Foundation was in the ring. A lot of good tag tactics when they were in the ring. It's very well-rounded tag team for what they did. So definitely can't have a Mount Rushmore without the Hart Foundation, in my opinion.
I might isolate that audio. Intern Mark, who is your number 2?
Number 2, I'd have to go with the Road Warriors, or the Legion of Doom, if you will. And we talked about them quite a bit, so I don't know I can really add anything to it. But they are, even if you're a casual fan and somebody shows you a picture of the Road Warriors, you're going to know who they are for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, looking at some of the comments here, William has had the Rock and Roll Express / Midnight Express as his number 3. Number 2, he has the Road Warriors. Devin has DIY at number 2. And Nikki has her top 4. Number 4, Acolytes. 3, New Day. 2, Killer Bees. And number 1, the Dudleys. And Charlie says, Mrs. Thrower says Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan. All right, so let's move here to number 1. This would be no surprise for Big Jim. I have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and Marty Jannetty. The Rockers at number 1.
He killed a man.
No, he says he didn't. He says he didn't.
He allegedly killed a man.
Yeah, my number 1 is the Hart Foundation. The technical ability of Bret, the power of Jimmy Anvil Neidhart. And at the time, the tag team wrestling in the WWF, and even if you go back to Stampede, some of the stuff they did with the Bulldogs and Stampede was just kind of unheard of at the time. The Bulldogs almost cracked my list as well. I think the British Bulldogs were a fantastic tag team. But yeah, it's the Hart Foundation. They're my number 1 tag team, and it should be no surprise for fans of this program. Ryan, how about you?
I did have some honorable mentions I want to knock off real quick. I did have the New Day on my list. They were on 4 until I probably moved the Outsiders into the list. I also had the Fart Foundation on my list as well. And obviously, we can't talk about tag teams without talking about our namesake, the Recount, who is a one-time NWA Wildside Tag Team Champion and collectively a one-time WCW Hardcore Champion that they won and defended with the Freebird rule as well. My number one's obviously the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. I think you look at them, and that is your model tag team. If you say to any promoter, like, I want you guys to pick a tag team, and I mean everything from the biker sort of thing, the face paint, the WWF, spiky shoulder pads, just everything about them. It was so cool to be a Road Warrior LOD fan. So they are my numero uno. However, if Tim, if we're talking about teams that are right now and still very current, I'd have to put Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler on this list too. Their Team Shania's got something going.
We will talk about Team Shania here coming up in our next segment.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Tim, who do you have at number one?
I mean, Ryan, that list is pretty nice. It don't impress me much, but
Well, whose bed have your boots been under?
My number one is a good brother tag team. Actually, it's probably the best brothers to ever tag together. I'll also do some honorable mentions. Gotta talk about Demolition. Gotta talk about the Usos. The Kings of Wrestling, obviously. Really small showing, but Power and Glory were awesome.
They were a fun tag team.
Very fun. And the Iconics belong on that list as well. But my number one tag team, and Charlie has mentioned them. It is Rick and Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers.
I wondered if you were going to go that direction.
Heck yeah. Man, the dog-faced gremlin and Scotty, like,
Scotty.
To me, they are the upgrade of the Road Warriors. Two big dudes could beat you up, but they're legit shooters. Both technical wrestlers. You talk about power slams. Rick Steiner was catching fools out of midair and just dumping them. Like the Steiners, go back and watch their like late 80s, early 90s stuff. Dog, man, they are just destroying teams.
It's a great call.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, good. Definitely good stuff. Matt, how about you? Who's your number one?
Yeah, so before I get there, some of the honorable mentions for me, I said DX-ish, so New Age Outlaws were always a favorite tag team of mine growing up. The Iconics were certainly online as well. Good call there, Tim. And the New Day too. And then I really did appreciate Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart for what they were back then. I thought they were a lot of fun as well. Very good heel tag team. So those would be my honorable mentions. The number one for me, Ryan had said it earlier when we were talking about, the three big tag teams that kind of reinvigorated tag team wrestling. I thought the best of them was the Dudley Boys as well. So they would be my number one. Just, again, longevity, going through different companies, bringing kind of extreme rules into tag team wrestling. Like, do we see TLC without the Dudley Boys? I don't know. Like, does that become the staple that it is now? Like a whole pay-per-view? We wouldn't have a Big Show Eric Rowan stairs match if not for the Dudley Boys. So.
And that's why they didn't make my top four.
So, I mean, you just have to appreciate what they did back then. They just kind of bruised through every tag team back then. It was a lot of fun to watch those three teams go at it. But the Dudleys always stood out above the rest for me.
All right, very good. Intern Mark, how about you? Who is your number one?
Well, I'll do my honorable mentions real quick. The Jumping Bomb Angels, the Fantastics, American Males, the Colossal Connection, Natural Disasters, all great tag teams. My number one, I'd have to go with the Rock and Roll Express. Those guys were, as they say, over like Rover in the 80s. Just incredible. They're still going today.
Were they over like?
If you really think about it, in the 80s, if they
Sorry,
They're over like Smokey. I didn't hear what you said.
I asked Ryan if they're over like fidget spinners. Ryan almost killed us on commentary one night at PWE when he dropped that one. But sorry, I interrupted you there, Mark.
I never would use the word
that's all
over
right.
either. I said as popular as.
Splitting hairs, but continue, Mark.
The fidget spinners aren't too popular anymore. I don't think you can give them away. But
Tim's got it.
He's got it.
The rock and roll. He's got it. The Rock and Roll Express. And those guys back in the 80s, if they were printing T-shirts with them on it or posters, I can't imagine how much money they make off them. But T-shirts weren't quite as popular back then at wrestling shows, and at least not in the NWA and posters. But those guys, and it's still going. In 2020, they're still a team and wrestling occasionally. So I'm gonna have to put that at my number one. But in all seriousness, though, the Steiner brothers were incredible. Terry Gordy was one of the original Freebirds, and Dr. Death Steve Williams. They were a tag team. They were more popular in Japan, but they had a feud with the Steiners that was just unbelievable.
Miracle Violence Connection, that was really good.
It was, those guys were unreal. I don't know, like, legitimately, if there would be a team even today that could have beat Gordy and Dr. Death back in their heyday. But
all right,
yeah, that's what I got.
Looking
So
at
Mark, there's still not a table at Roots that's just selling fidget spinners.
You know what? There used to be, when the fidget spinners were popular. I remember going up there the one week. I forget how much they were, maybe $5, and then the following week they were up to $7. Then the next week they were at 10, and now if there's a table there, it's a lonely table, and they're probably marked down at $1, and they still can't sell them.
You couldn't pay people dollars to take them, but all right, catching up here on the comments. Devin has
that's a shame.
The Rock and Roll Express is his number one. William has the Dudleys as his. Charlie says 2 honorable mentions because they scared him as a kid: the Natural Disasters and the Twin Towers. Yeah, I remember the Natural Disasters as well. Before we move on here to our Clash of Champions preview, Devin sent this over to me, and I forgot to plug it. This Saturday night at the St. Anthony's Lounge in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, Valor Professional Wrestling makes its debut in Downingtown, PA. The main event is the champion of Valor, the Butcher Andrew Backlund, facing the Sexy Psycho Adrian Bliss. You can doors are at 3 p.m., 4 o'clock bell time. If you head over to Valor Pro Wrestling on Facebook, you can get all the full information there. It is an outdoor show. Social distancing, of course, will be practiced, as is the name of the game here in 2020. But if you are in the Downingtown, Pennsylvania area and you've got nothing to do on Saturday, please make out and support independent professional wrestling with Valor making their debut in Downingtown. So, boys, there's a pay-per-view this week.
Is there, real quick, back to the tag teams, is there any glaring omissions that anybody can think of that wasn't mentioned from anybody? The only name I could think of was Harlem Heat. Wasn't brought up by anybody.
You know,
this.
They were one that I was kicking around. Again, it's hard when you're looking at just 4. Because like I said, the Steiners came into my mind, Harlem Heat came into my mind, the Dudleys obviously came into my mind. And I joked about them, but like the Rockers, like growing up as a WWF guy, the Rockers, they weren't long in the tag team world, but they stood out to me growing up. And I know they were kind of more of a joke in the WWF, but in terms of like longevity and like work as a team across the business, not that they should necessarily be on a Mount Rushmore, but the Bushwhackers are a team that there was actually consideration for me to put them on there, because those guys were a team forever. I mean, literally forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sheep herders.
Yeah, the sheep herders. So, but I don't. For me, I don't know if there was necessarily any super glaring omission.
The Nasty Boys weren't mentioned at all.
Okay, yeah.
Harlem Heat. If I could do it all over again, I'd probably take the Road Warriors out at 4 and put Harlem Heat in. I completely forgot about them, but absolutely Harlem Heat for sure. The Hollywood Blondes, as Charlie mentioned. No one mentioned the Hollywood Blondes.
Nobody mentioned the Samoans, the Wild Samoans, or
the Head Shrinkers. Yeah.
But
Smoking Gun. Like, there's so many like really good tag teams. I just unfortunately you can only pick 4.
I think if we're talking gimmicks, I don't think there's a much better gimmick than the $1 Million Man and the IRS.
Oh, Money Inc.
Put
Yeah.
together. I think that's a great tag team. Yeah.
Devin has the Brothers of Destruction on there as one that would kind of be just outside his top 4, and that wasn't on anybody's list.
What about the Eliminators over in ECW? Those guys are fantastic too.
Oh, who were the guys in ECW that wore they were like hockey jerseys?
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
Yeah, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were not the best wrestlers, but their gimmick was over.
And I mean, with ECW, you didn't have to necessarily be great wrestlers, but they worked great as a team for being in ECW.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of like really upper class tag teams. I mean, Eliminators, the Gangsters, RVD and Sabu were a really good, solid team. I actually preferred the Gangstonators. That's when Saturn left WCW and Mustafa left and did his own thing. It was New Jack and Cronus. Oh man, that was a team.
Yep.
That was a squad.
Oh, it was crazy.
Tim, earlier you said about Rick Steiner picking people up and putting people down, but didn't mention the Beverly Brothers picking people up and spiking them down.
See, the Shaker Hike spike is different. Like,
seems
that's
weird to not
murder.
bring them up.
They're actually killing people with the Shaker Hike spike. Rick Steiner is just, slightly inconveniencing people.
Just walking funny for a week.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, I just fought Rick. Man.
But yeah, I mean, there's been so many good tag teams over the history of professional wrestling. And like I said, it was kind of tough to pick just 4, but I appreciate everyone. We had tons of responses on Twitter and Facebook for this. Just not enough time to really cover them, but I appreciate everybody who does respond to us and follow along with us on social media. And if you're following with us on the live video, we appreciate that as well. But yeah, let's go to this Sunday. Obviously, still in the WWE Thunderdome. It is the Clash of Champions. There are 9 matches. We have 1 match on the pre-show and 8 on the full show with every title on the line, of course, this Sunday. And we'll start with that pre-show match. It is Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Zelina Vega. Zelina winning the #1 contender spot this past Monday on an interesting Raw, which we'll talk about at least one aspect of that interesting Raw here coming up. I think Asuka's going to win here. I like them putting Zelina in this spot. We've seen her wrestle a few times in the COVID era, so it is good to see her get in-ring work. I think she's really, really good, in the ring. But I don't think Asuka's going to lose her title here. Ryan.
Yeah, it's obviously Asuka.
Tim, how about you?
I'm also going Asuka. It's really unfortunate that this is in the pre-show slot. I think this would have been a really cool opportunity to showcase a different WWE title. Maybe have Isaiah Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar in the match for the opener. showcase the NXT title, one of the NXT titles at some point. But something's got to go there. It just sucks that it's Asuka. Like, she was the top of the world, and now she's kickoff Show Jones.
Now, do you think they're doing this to just because that they were so late in getting a contender for the title, or that they want to put their strong foot on the kickoff?
I think it's because we're in the Wrestling Dead period.
That's fair.
Like, after SummerSlam, historically, there's nothing happening of interest
until the
Royal Rumble. And especially now, in the asterisk era, in the dot over the I of the Jeremy Bearimy, like, there's nothing. So what? What are you going to do?
Football's back.
And they're also going against the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're going against Major League Baseball playoffs.
Stanley Cup Finals as well. I'm not sure if their next game, if they have a game on that Sunday, but yeah, there's a lot more factors that are working against them this time than even a normal year.
Very true.
Matt, how about you? Asuka, Zelina Vega.
Yeah, it's going to be Asuka. I don't think it'll be a squash match, but I don't think that it's going to be any doubt, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think anyone thinks Zelina Vega's winning. It would be a neat moment if she did, but it wouldn't make sense at all.
How about you, Mark?
Well, I got to go with Asuka as well. I don't think there's any chance of Zelina Vega winning. I think down the road we could see her maybe get a title run or maybe a little more prominent title match, but not this time around. But it's nice to see her, somebody different, challenging for the title. So
you know what, boys? Just to make this pay-per-view interesting, I'm going to go ahead and say that Zelina's chances at winning this championship
0.0.
0% chance.
Wow.
0% chance that Zelina walks out of the Thunderdome as your Raw Women's Champion.
What a bold move, Cotton.
There we go. There's that. If that doesn't get people to tune in, I don't know what will. All right, let's go to the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley, member of the Hurt Business, defending against Apollo Crews. I like Bobby to retain here. Excuse me, not Bobby. To retain here. Again, the Hurt Business is good. You got to keep that gold with the Hurt Business. So Bob gets the win. Ryan, how about you?
Hit that Bob button one more time.
Tim, how about you?
Ring it up.
Matt, how about you?
Yeah, Bob.
Mark, how about you?
Go ahead and hit that button.
Gotta love it. That's we're making this one easy.
I
folks.
feel bad for Apollo, man, but I know Cruz can't lose, but the Hurt Business, man.
Business is good.
Shoot. I love that they've renamed the Lashley lock the Hurt lock.
Yeah, love it. Devin also has. So I think that one is fairly easy.
That's a stone cold lock.
Yeah. Wait, where is it?
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, let's go to the Raw Tag Team titles. The Street Profits defending against Andrade and Angel Garza for the billionth time in the COVID era. Like, if this match in and of itself isn't like wholeheartedly a reason why we need to unify the tag titles right now, then it's right here, because like this, and not that they don't do great work, because the Street Profits versus Garza and Andrade is good stuff, but man, I feel like I have seen this match every week since WrestleMania, which feels like a year and a half ago. I mean, it's just, you gotta throw two guys together, do something, make up a tag team. You did it with the women. figure it out. But Street Profits keep winning. I love the Street Profits, but I do not want to see this match again after Sunday. Ryan, how about you?
Jim, you've not seen this match because every time you've seen Andrade and Garza, they have been drugged down by Zelina Vega. They have kicked her to the curb and she is gone, and they are on their winning ways. And that will not stop until I don't for a long time, because they're winning here. They're going to knock off the Street Profits. I think the Profits game is a lot more fun when they're chasing the championship. So Andrade and Garza will upend the champions and leave your new Raw Tag Team champs.
Nice, very nice. I love me some Garza. I got the shirt and everything. Tim, how about you?
Can we just go ahead and split Andrade and Angel Garza for the first, finally, I'm sick of this ish. Split them up already.
Oh.
Split them. You've done it twice already. Just be done. Profits are up. Profits are up. It's got to be the Street Profits. I just don't know who else there is in the Raw tag team division.
Nobody.
But that doesn't mean Andrade and Angel Garza win here.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
No, it just means that once again, tag team wrestling means nothing in the WWE. That's what it means.
Sad but true. Sad but true. Speaking of tag team wrestling, Matt, I'm very disappointed that you did not have the Usos in your top 4, because I know out of the 5 of us, you do go hard in the paint.
Sure do. Yeah, I have the shirt to prove it.
You do. Who do you got here?
I'm also kind of disappointed that none of you guys named the McMahons. I'm sure both of you, Jim and Ryan.
It's not really a fair fight. It really is.
But unfortunately, Tim, there being no tag teams in Raw is exactly why Almas and Garza are going to win. They need to stabilize the tag team division. And what better way to do it than have this thrown together team beat the legitimate team and kind of be legitimate?
Well,
unfortunately, are down.
Then you get the rematch for the next for the next 4 months.
There you go. You got it, Jim.
All right, Mark, who do you got Raw tag titles?
I think Garza and Andrade are going to take it this time around. The same logic. That way we can set up the rematches for the next 6 months. So here we go.
All right, and then all right, let's move on here to the triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental title. The real champ Jeff Hardy taking on the real champ Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. Potential for match of the night here. I like the potential here with this one, and I like Sami Zayn to walk out as the undisputed Intercontinental champion. Him coming back, here in the Thunderdome was a bit of a surprise. I like what they've done with the, I never lost the title sort of a thing. That's always a fun little gimmick. So I like Sammy to pick up the undisputed championship here. Ryan, how about you?
I just agree with everything you've said there, Jim. Sami Zayn.
Tim, how about you?
I don't know. Because
that's not how this game works.
Yeah, I know. Let me do one of my least favorite wrestling chants of all time. All these guys, all these guys, all these guys. That's my second least favorite chant, other than "Fight Forever." That one can go away.
Yeah, that one can fuck off forever.
This is wrestling as well. If this is wrestling, then what the hell was everything else I've watched today?
What am I gonna throw my streamers at?
It's you've been watching sports entertainment, pal. That's what you've been watching.
Whatever, man. It's all the same. I gotta pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, Zayn. Sami Zayn.
All right. Matt, how about you?
Nah, I mean Jeff Hardy.
Oh,
God, I don't know. Sami
Uh,
Zayn. Sam Zayn.
Sam Zayn. Are you sure it's not AJ Styles?
It's Rami Zayn. It's Sammy.
All right. Matt, how about you?
You know what? Let's go Jeff Hardy.
All right. Very good. And in turn, Mark, how about you?
Got to go with Sami Zayn, the real champion. He never lost the belt.
That's true. Going back, Devin had the Street Profits in the last match. He has Jeff Hardy in this one. Charlie has Sammy in this one. Then we got a SmackDown Tag Team title match. The Lucha House Party taking on the champions Cesaro and Shinsuke. I like Cesaro and Shinsuke to retain. Nothing against the Lucha House Party, but when you're talking about as Tim likes in the #1 tag team superstar of all time, and with that resume, it's hard to argue with that. If you're talking about individuals and tag teams, I want to see this team have more legs. I'd like to see him do more with it. So I like Cesaro and Nakamura to retain. Ryan.
Yep.
All right, Tim. How about you?
Yeah, man.
Matt, how about you?
No, I'm not gonna say it like that, but yeah.
In turn, Mark, how about you?
Yeah.
All right, that one.
Yeah,
I felt like that one was fairly easy. All right, here we go. Raw or Women's Tag Team Championship. The Riot Squad of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan taking on the team of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. As much as I like the reunited Riot Squad, I am really liking Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler as a tag team. I think they work really well as a tag team. I think it's the best use of Nia Jax. I also like when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler end up on Raw Talk. And by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, I mean Shayna Baszler and R-Truth. Those two are like just give me a show of those two talking for an hour, and I'll just watch it all the time on the network because they are just pure gold together. So I like Nia and Shayna to retain the titles. Ryan.
Jim, you just keep hitting dingers. I agree.
That's what I do. I hit dingers. Tim.
Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
All right, you seem a little less enthusiastic, but
I'm very not enthused by this.
She's not like most girls.
You don't have to talk to me like that.
Matt, who do you got here?
Riot Squad.
Okay, bucking the group. Mark, who you with?
I'm going to go with Shania Twain.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they broke up the Riot Squad and really did nothing with any of them, and then put them back together. I thought they were doing just fine when there was 3 of them and they were chugging along. So I don't quite get it, but it's nice to see them back together. But they're not taking the tag titles.
It's one of those great mysteries of life. Why? And I mean that's why I'm assuming the two Conics will be back together at some point, in the next couple of months.
A kid can dream, right?
I mean, they're still admitted best friends. If you watch for all this past week, they're just not a tag team. But we'll get back there. It's pro wrestling, pal. All right, let's go to the WWE Women's SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Nikki Cross. I think Nikki is finally going to get the victory here. I think that even though I'd love to see this Sasha Bayley feud super slow burn to the Royal Rumble or to WrestleMania, I think these two are probably destined for Hell in a Cell next month. So I think Sasha is going to actually cost in some form or fashion Bayley the title here this Sunday. So Nikki Cross is going to walk out as your women's champion. Ryan.
Jim, I have a really fun feud beginning with Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, and everything that she's going to be doing here in the future. Side note, while we were on the air here tonight, I got a notification that Alexa Bliss has tried to connect with me through LinkedIn. So I think I made it, guys. That's a pretty big deal. I'm sure it's her. She has like 7 other connections. So I'm pretty excited about this. All that being said, Nikki Cross will be feuding with Alexa Bliss with the championship, because we're going to see Sasha and Bailey crash in their own direction. So, Jim, again, ringing them up.
I'm pretty good at this thing, which obviously means all of these are going to be wrong.
Each and every one of them.
Back in a perfect world when like you used to be able to come over and watch pay-per-views at the house here, but now my wife has to watch them with me, which is
a very sweet lady.
Is a victory for myself, but we do miss you on pay-per-view Sundays. But she sees me with my scorecard, and then she'll ask me how I did, and then I tell her, and she goes, "You're not very good at this, are you?" She goes, "You've been watching this your whole life. How are you not good at it?" And I go, I don't know. I don't know.
Fake.
Yeah, it's not real, babe. Like it's just
it's because you took that time off when Kurt Angle went to TNA.
See, that's true. I shouldn't have done that. Tim, who do you got here? SmackDown Women's title.
I got Bailey winning or retaining by DQ. I think Sasha costs Nikki because she just goes to get a piece of Bailey. And I still think Jim's gonna get what he wants. Sasha and Bailey, and Ryan's gonna get what he wants. Alexa and Nikki.
What about?
I think
favorite match.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
What about that one? Sorry.
But I think what it'll end up being is those two will collide with Sasha and Alexa once it's all kind of said and done. But I got Bailey.
I mean, I want Bailey to retain. Actually, I love her in this role, but
I don't care for Karen. I don't like this Karen gimmick.
I love it.
But you know,
like in a weird way, you know what? Like the Fiend and the Alexa Fiend does for you.
Yeah.
The Karen Bailey kind of does that for me. It's weird. Matt, who do you got?
You are absolutely the guy that wants to do the fucking dishes after Thanksgiving. Yep, I get it.
And think that it's gonna win over celery.
Yep, Karens get me going. Get the.
No, not all of them. Bailey as this Bailey, just that one. It's not all of them.
How long have you liked being talked down to?
Actually, pretty much most of my life.
It really motivates me. Negativity really fuels.
Yeah, I actually thrive on negativity and
what makes me want to run through a brick wall?
Being told I'm a moron. It really gets me going.
I'm an idiot.
Matt, who do you got here?
I have Bailey retaining, and on a side note, I would say that Jim losing that Thanksgiving fantasy draft will be one of my favorite Thanksgiving memories for years to come. Because I mean, we went 5 rounds. Jim was looking pretty solid, and then I threw in the hey, let's do an activity. And
yeah, I got sabotaged.
Jim took his best draft that we've ever done and just punted it.
Hey, I don't know if that was my best draft that we've ever done. I don't think we should sit here and slander all my drafts.
You had turkey and stuffing on a Thanksgiving pick'em.
Yeah,
it was the best possibility you could have ever had.
Okay, you're actually.
He finished dead last to Hodecker's salary and succotash.
Succotash.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. I still call foul.
Lima beans. Succotash.
I feel like votes were bought. I feel like hanging chads happened.
Mark threw Cornish game hen on a whim in the 5th round just to get a protein.
I feel like
that's right.
feel like there was Russian interference. Like there was so many things.
Don't be rude.
Like it was complete horseshit. It really was. And I have the power. I could strike that draft from the history. I could wipe it clean from the annals of time. But I'm going to be the bigger man, and I won't do that. I'll leave it out there. But I will have my revenge one day. Intern Mark, who do you got here for the SmackDown Women's side?
I'm going to go with Bailey retaining. Maybe not necessarily pinfall, maybe by DQ, but I'm going to go with Bailey.
All right. Then we have the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns, of course, with Paul Heyman defending against Jey Uso. I either want this match to. I mean, Roman's winning. Like, there's a small part of me that wants this to be like a banger of a match, but I feel like there's a bigger part of me that wants this to be finger poke of doom. And just have Jay lay down for the family and do the right thing. Devin had Bailey in the last match as well. But that's kind of what I hope for here is a finger poke of doom, so to speak. Ryan, how about you?
The Ooh-Ah Man.
How about you?
Ryan, keep doing that during everyone's pick. Just
I just like the sound it's making. It's really good.
I've got a. It's girthy. It's real girthy.
That's like an ASMR wet dream almost right there.
That'll be our next YouTube hit.
Yeah, Ryan.
Just.
That is not safe for Facebook, man.
That's not okay. But it's good. Tim, who do you got here?
I got my heart because we are finally gonna free the titty at Clash of Champions. Said the shirt is coming. Oh, my Pokeball just fell on my desk. The shirt is coming off to this weekend. I'm excited. The titty is coming loose. Roman Reigns, the big dog, the Ooh-Ah Man. He's gonna put down little Jimmy or little Jay or all of them. He's gonna put all of them down. Oh my God! It turned on my PlayStation. You stop it, weird Pokeball.
A little bit of the bubbly.
No, I have not. I have not.
Matt.
Ooh-Ah Man, free to titty 2020.
Matt. I gotta get another beer. I'm not jumping up for this.
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
While Jim's away, I will slowly make my pick while he goes and grabs
back. Just everyone just start fisting the camera.
When Jim comes back with his white claw, yes.
It's a truly, I bet. What'd you get to drink there, big boy?
Got another one of these. One of the Steve Weisers.
He got a real one.
I thought it was going to be a truly.
Jim, 2 beers, 2 IPAs in a night.
I know. Well, and I had that cider. I'm letting.
Watch out, Mrs. James.
It's definitely going to be Bremo tonight.
Big Jim.
Bremo.
Let's skip to bed.
That being said,
I'll leave her disappointed, so it'll be. And then it's over. It's literally that quick.
How often do you come around here? Not very.
Anyway, there's a 0% chance that Shirtless Reigns loses here. 0.0. He's not freeing the nip for nothing. He's getting the win.
0.0.
Nikki, have a good night. Nikki's got a piece out here. Devin says
we scared her away. So sorry about that.
At least she was here for the fisting talk.
Yeah.
She's going to have nightmares now.
Just four large, some large men just, yeah.
I think I chafed my arm. Damn
You
it!
probably
Brittany.
did. You need some Lubriderm or something.
Hurts like hell.
Mark, what do you got here?
Well, Smokey needs Lubriderm, and Jim, you can use some Blue Chew. It sounds like.
Yeah, I got
I'm
no
gonna go-
problem on that end. Does that make you last longer? I think it just. puts
Yeah,
more-
it does.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
the desensitizing spray is what you need, I think.
yeah, I need a little.
You need some Mama Joanna.
Makes you last longer. It's so hard a cat couldn't scratch it.
Is it
The
last longer? We're talking about Big Red.
Yes. That
Like a big
Blue
red.
Chew freshness lasts right through it.
take through it.
All right, Mark, who do you got here?
I was hoping Tim would go for a second verse on that, but
I got it. It's ready.
I gotta go.
Go
I
ahead.
just gotta go with Roman.
Go ahead.
Roman Reigns for all the. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
No.
Let's do
You
the
give
second
your
verse.
pick. I'm done derailing this until you're done.
Well, he said
I'm
Roman.
gonna go with Roman.
Yeah.
Roman
You're
for all the
big.
reasons previously stated.
Your big hug goes on and on while you do it.
All right, and then we go to the ambulance match. For the
You'll need one if you take too many Blue Chews, Big Jim.
Dude, I need one of those things. Let's be honest.
Right.
Now, have they told us what the rules of the ambulance match is, or do we have to look that up online, or maybe that's on Being the Elite? I'm not sure how this works.
I think they did it on About the Bell or Around the Bell or Ring the Bells with
Before the
Rev
Bell,
Run.
what is
I
it?
don't know.
With
Big
Corey
Show
and
sits on two stairs on top of you for 10 seconds, and you have to be taken away via ambulance. You lose.
and Mike Chioda will ask you if you want to give up.
And then you have to watch 3 episodes of the Big Show, and it's the first 3, not the last 3, that actually like showed some promise.
You have to watch the crossover episode.
And then it got canceled.
That's a shame.
And then, all right, but I think you just have to get your opponent in the ambulance and shut the door. So I'm actually going Randall Orton is going to win the ambulance match and win his 14th or 15th. He's a 14 timer.
Let me look.
I think he's a 14 timer, so this will be 15, I believe. But Randall Orton, either way, Randall Orton is your new WWE champion. Ryan.
I see that happening as well, Jim. I think each man will just beat the piss out of each other. I think this will be a very hard-fought battle, and we will see Randall Orton raise the championship, albeit very briefly, near the end of the pay-per-view.
Very good. Devin says, my heart says Drew. My mind says Randy. Tim, who you got?
My anus says the Miami Dolphins are winning.
So what's going to happen here is that Randy's going to have Drew ready to go in the ambulance. The doors are going to open, and out comes sex god Edge. And Edge is going to put the hurt on the Randy, getting us to Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre wins.
Okay.
And it gets Randy away from the title again.
Wow, I love that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. Kid, you should be working in Connecticut.
I ain't got the heart to deal with that old man. I would sneeze too much for him. Like, what the hell are you doing, pal?
I would sniffle too much for him. You can get the sniffle, especially right now.
Control yourself, pal.
Could you imagine being around Vince McMahon right now? Like known germaphobe Vince McMahon during this time? Oof. The Ringsiders said they're just joining in from California. Hello from California.
Hello.
I've heard California is beautiful this time of year.
California.
Well, as long as you're in the part of the place that's not on fire.
Yeah, the really hot spot's not great.
You mean the United States?
Well, I mean,
Pretty bad right now.
Literal fire, not
Oh, gotcha.
not metaphorical
dumpster
literal
fire,
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
fire.
Different
But
fire.
if you're with us here in the live video, give us a like, give us a share. We'd appreciate that. Matt, who do you got here in the ambulance match?
All right, so Randall Orton is going to win this. Otis immediately cashes in, wins. Randy challenges, gets his rematch at, I don't know, Survivor Series. Who gives a shit? Leading up to a three-way at WrestleMania between Randall, Big Match John, and Ric Flair to see who will be the 17-time champion.
What have you had to drink?
Put that. That's in the red words. Jesus said it.
He might not even have the Money in the Bank contract by then. Isn't they got to hand it over to the Miz on Friday?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because he embarrassed the Miz, and then his lawyer's like,
he got
I'm suing Otis for the Money in the Bank contract. Because that's how that works.
Yeah, that's exactly. Look, I mean, it's professional wrestling. It works.
Sure.
It works however they want it to work.
I mean, I guess in my scenario, Orton would still have to like vacate the title, so he'd have to win it back. Because if he just retained, then he's still 16-time champion.
Yeah, he'd have to get it. He'd have to lose it and then get it.
So,
he'd lose it.
All right. So at Royal Rumble, we'll have Vince just strip him of the title for reasons.
But then he wins it in the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah. He. Remember how
but then he would be ahead of the curve again.
Maybe we'll figure it out. We got time.
We got some time. Regardless, WrestleMania, Orton, Big Match John, Ric Flair.
I like where you're going with this. You're going with this.
That'll
Three
put some
guys
ass
that need a push, all on the right side of 30.
All insert Mark. Who do you got here? Ambulance match.
I'm going to have to go with Randall. Randall is white hot right now. White hot. Now's the time to strike. White hot. You got to put the emphasis on that H and white.
I like that the whole time. Mark was like looking off into the distance, prognosticating.
He's finding the right color of hot that he's.
And he's not blue hot because that's blue chew.
No,
red hot's not.
I'm thinking red hot is not hot enough. I got to go with white hot. White hot, and now it's the time to
white hot.
strike.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. All right.
White hot.
That is Money in the Bank. Thank God. Okay.
Champions.
Hey guys, we are
champions.
We are 20 minutes from 3 Count Thursday Underground. I cannot wait for this week's 3 Count Thursday Underground.
Oh my gosh.
Boy, who's ready to dunk on Retribution, fam?
Yeah. Let's get to that. Okay. Let me start off.
Go ahead.
Look, I try to be the biggest, because I feel like Tim, you've 2020's got to you a bit.
Vince McMahon's got to me.
That too. So I feel like I'm the last stalwart for defending everything and anything this company wants to try to do.
So before you do, I want to set the table for what exactly the fuck is happening with Retribution.
Yeah, let's put it on the table.
So there's all these guys. There's all these guys and gals who are sick of the system.
Sick of it.
Who are sick of the status quo. They're tired of being held down, have their finger on them, denying them the ability to grow, to thrive, and yet their end game is to get signed by the system they're bucking. And that's not even talking about these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villain names of Sassafras, T-Boz, and what's the other one?
It was Left Eye, Chili,
T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili. Slapjack,
Slapdick.
T-Bar and Rutabaga. What is the other guy's name?
The third one. I don't even remember.
Rutabaga.
Which one is Dio Madden? We're forgetting.
Mace.
Yeah.
Not Puff Daddy and Mace.
I was gonna say with the dollar sign.
It
Definitely
should
with
have
the
been
dollar
with a
sign.
damn dollar sign.
Not Mace Windu from Star Wars.
No, instead it's the effing spray.
All I
Pepper
could think-
spray, crowbar, and
Slapnuts.
and sidekick.
All I could think about was
What's the girls' names?
We don't know.
Mia and Mercedes.
Eminem.
All I could think about was when Beetlejuice walked up to Jeff Jarrett and said, "Hey, Slapnuts," and then Jarrett blasts him in the back with a guitar.
Classic.
At least Dio Madden and Donovan Dijakovic have solid masks, because Shane Thorne and the chicks are horrible.
Dude, okay.
Horrible. What's the point of wearing a mask when the only thing that's covered is your cheeks?
Look,
Like,
I don't. What don't you like about Shane Thorne's mask? It's a nod to Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's definitely not. That's blasphemy, man. Wow.
You're gonna draw the line on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle jokes
I'm gonna draw the line on Casey Jones. You better put some respect
after
on that.
all the shit that I've said.
Chronic, I will accept Chronic being in your Mount Rushmore before
I knew
you
it would
say that
happen.
he's effing.
Mission accomplished.
I mean, we've called you out on a lot. I mean, this isn't like Iron Man died bad, but
he's
It's
dead.
close.
you're pushing an envelope.
What's worse than out of all of Retribution, Jim?
Yes.
Is it the masks? Is it the name? Or is it the fact that Jerry the Stupid King Lawler was on commentary the night that Mace debuts, and it's a big black guy with dreads who he literally sat next to and did commentary with for months, and he doesn't even recognize him?
Well, he has a mask on.
Fuck that, Jim.
Okay, look.
I'm not saying they all look alike. I'm saying Dio Madden is recognizable.
I agree. Look.
That could have been Booker T in a mask. How is Jerry Lawler gonna know?
Booker T.
How is he gonna know?
Booker T would have been wearing his 2 Hall of Fame rings and that other ring that he got from Houston.
I forgot about the Houston ring.
The Mushnick
ring.
Yeah, he'd have just been like this. He'd have been like, "I'm wearing this mask, I got dreads, and I'm wearing all these rings."
Oh my God, he's back.
Let me tell you something, man. It's
Look,
horrible.
Look, I don't even take umbrage with them signing contracts. Like the NWO signed contract with WCW. Like
No, they didn't.
They were part of WCW.
They were NWO superstars
for life.
Okay, well, the Nexus were WWE superstars. If you want to beat a system, you can beat a system from within. I don't have a problem.
The Nexus wasn't burning stuff down, like literal arson with Molotov cocktails.
Now, granted, they did try to murder Justin Roberts, which
in hindsight may have been a good thing.
You know, Daniel Bryan, he was a hero. He was the hero
Daniel
we
Bryan,
deserved.
Absolutely, dude's a hero. Okay, so I don't necessarily take umbrage with them signing contracts. If you want to destroy a system, you can destroy a system from within. But the masks are bad. The trying to like, oh, my name, I'm gonna cut the promos with the angry voice. That was bad. The names, my God, like. I really try to go out of my way sometimes to find the brightness in some of the things that WWE does. But holy crap, do you want, like, You didn't want this to succeed, did you? Like this was like I tried to defend it when they were blowing up a random rig in a parking lot that had no reason to be there. I tried to defend it when they're throwing bricks through a window and then they didn't even
already broken, by the way.
And then they didn't even go in the goddamn window that they just broke. They just and walked away. like I defended that. I feel like you're losing me here.
Here's what I'm curious about too.
Why is his name Slapjack? Why? I don't.
Suckers gots to know.
Like, and so they had masks before.
Yeah.
That covered like most of their face except for Dijack's, which was like, I'm Donovan Dijak. Why do you have a different mask now? And why do you have stupid face paint? And why is your name Mace, Slapdick, and what was the third one?
T-Bar.
T-Bar. Dijak is T-Bar. Well, to be fair, people did complain about Dijakovic, so this is T-Bar is easier to say. But my God, when I found out what their names were, it was one of the first times that I can remember like really shitting on something that I saw on WWE TV. Like the minute I was like, wait, what the fuck did you just say their names were? Like, did I Mace, Slapjack, and T-Bar? Like, are you fucking with me right now? That was my reaction. I'm like, you can't be serious. Sorry, Zach, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm swearing. It's a thing that happens.
Watch your profanity. All right, sorry.
But
wait, is that actually a thing? Like someone complained about swearing?
Oh, it's a buddy of mine just giving me hell. Matt, are you doing shots because we're talking about retribution? You're just
there. It happens.
Yeah, one shot every time Jim complains about WWE. It's the first time I've ever taken one on the show.
That shot's been sitting there for 6 years.
I got you. Oh, I'll catch up. Hold on.
That shot has been sitting out for 6 years.
We're good.
Oh
God, it was a mistake.
But come on, Mace, Slapjack, and T-Bar. A T-Bar is a mic stand part that I have at my job. It's not a pro wrestler. For God's sakes, Ryan, go ahead.
I don't get T-Bar. I think you can make an argument, and this is not my argument, but I mean a slapjack is a weapon, like the little stick weapon. Mace obviously can use to like blind people. I feel like Vince McMahon, and this is not good.
No,
realizes like there's protests going on around this world, and is like, hey, what if some of our wrestlers can do this? What if they light something on fire and run amok? And then like push comes to shove, we have to do something with these guys. And then we like, hey, we have these knockoff Slipknot masks. We're gonna put them in. You know, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. It is awful when you guys have like a working relationship with one of the greatest horror mask makers ever, and you've done what you've done with The Fiend to put these guys in fucking Family Dollar rip-off masks and send them out there is just awful. It's so bad. Oh man, and I don't want to shit on it either because I feel like I'm a dude that like will easily shit on this stuff, Jim. And I look to you for guidance in these moments, and you've provided me none.
Yeah, it's
so I push my fingers into my eyes.
The way Jim's blood and guts shirt is billowing behind him.
It's just so proud.
Thank God for central air conditioning, right?
It's literally there saying, T-Bar's not the worst thing you've ever heard of.
Right. It's like it could be worse.
Don't forget about me.
That's actually the name of the ladies. Blood and
guts.
My God.
And the shit thing is, these are wrestlers that can work. Why would you have to change their name? They're pissed that the system held them down So instead of wanting to get recognized, they
Right.
changed their fucking name and put a mask on?
Phil on the Rant Foundation brought up a great point last night.
Hi, Phil.
He said, why would you change their names? Because, like, you can't go to the network and search Slapjack and find Shane Thorne's history. You can't go and find, you can't find, T-Bar's match and find Dijakovic's work. Like, yeah, it doesn't. Why would you change their names if they're angry and they're fighting against the system that's done them wrong?
Are we not supposed to know they are who they are?
Because
I follow T-Bar on Twitter, and I used to follow Donovan Dijak. So,
like,
Shane Thorne did the same thing. They didn't create new Twitter accounts. They just
the only, maybe, like, if eventually they demask, I don't know, like, and then you could find out, like,
I hope they demask the same way Kane does, and they snap their head around.
Tim, you want to do some Duncan? We're doing some Duncan tonight.
Throw the oop up. I got this. I'm gonna come around double hand whammo. What do they got to be mad about? Dijak's now on the brand with his best friend. He gets to hang out with Keith Lee all the time. Mia Yim is now on the road with her boyfriend all the time, Keith Lee. They're hanging out.
You know what they're mad about then, right? Keith Lee's entrance music. This fixes everything.
Fix that shit. Yo, I got duped. I was watching Raw and I heard the beginning of Bask in His Glory come on. And I'm like, hold on. I thought they fixed his theme. I'm like, okay. And then I hear I'm like, are you kidding me? But like Shane Thorne, what does he got to be mad about? He's never been to the big show. He's never been disrespected. Like, what's his thing? Dio Madden got mollywopped by Brock Lesnar on commentary table, and then he ran away and never came back.
To be mad.
Like, he can be mad. And Mercedes, I can kind of see her being mad because, like, she hadn't got an opportunity until now, even though she was on.
But why be mad at the company that's gonna give you that opportunity?
Because, to quote a great individual, the whole thing sucks. It's just bad from tippity top to biggity bottom. The whole thing absolutely sucks.
Can you put that in a pizza analogy for me?
From crust to tip, the whole thing sucks.
That makes sense.
This is like a pizza with just pineapple on it.
No sauce, no cheese.
It's dough. It's dough cooked and just a can of Del Monte pineapples just on the top.
It's like going to Night and Day and you're about to get BBJ as your waitress, and instead you get the crazy lady. And it just
it's Karen again.
Oh God damn it, not Karen.
Charlie.
That's
man.
The worst.
Like, so I appreciate Charlie trying to be the rose-colored glasses guy. I have 2 words for you, Nexus and Shield. I have 2 words for you. Wake up, man. That's 3. But still, like, wake up. They ain't the Nexus. They ain't the Shield.
Well, and here's the thing. I get where Charlie's coming from. I think his point is like, maybe more.
Are we splitting? Are we splitting the difference because the Nexus had 8 and the Shield had 3, so Retribution gets the middle and they're 5, and then
like 40 people come out of the woodwork and just start beating up the Hurt Business. So like,
who are those people? Are they just Retribution roadies?
Those are just Meek Zorp, Zoltan.
Zoltan. She used to be a waitress at Friendly's. I remember her.
Like I know because Charlie responded because like people were complaining about them getting signed. I don't have an issue with them getting signed. It's every other aspect of the presentation from Monday that I take umbrage with. You set them up to look terrible. It was bad. It was presented poorly.
I feel like, to Charlie's point, Nexus was a group of rookies, correct? That got tired of being shit on from having to do like the really bad NXT.
Masks on.
So they didn't put masks on, and then they fought the system as they were to get recognized as they were. It's an awful presentation.
What the hell is even that?
That's the exact sound quote that you need. Hit it again.
What the hell is even that?
Right, they did, but like Zach says, every time someone eats pineapples off a slice of pizza, a baby kitten dies.
I mean, this guy's not wrong. This guy is batting 1,000.
I love this guy. I love my guy. Zach's my boy. Him and I have been.
Hey, Zach, Iron Man dies.
Matt or Mark, any other thoughts on Retribution?
None. It's just all trash. But you know what? The three of you, I'll exclude Mark from this, deserve this because you've given them pass after pass after pass after pass. Maybe not so much Ryan. I see you in the corner. But if you wear the rose-colored glasses enough, you're going to get shit like this, and you deserve it when it happens.
This is some big talk coming from the guy that is the biggest Shane McMahon fan in the entire world.
Wait, did somebody say Shane McMahon?
The who?
Who? Wait for it.
Who is that?
The best in the world. Here we go.
See, I'm glad the soundboard cuts out like 2/3 of this.
It can't handle it.
It's not strong enough. It can't handle all of Shane McMahon, the man who was single-handedly responsible for not the first, but the first 2 highest-rated Raws in all of wrestling.
Hey, you're just confirming my fandom. I don't know.
That's
I don't know what you're
Jack
bringing that up for.
Mark, any thoughts on Retribution before we hit some speed topics?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm really glad that CM Punk's not associated with him because that would just completely ruin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give it time.
I don't even know CM Punk can save this. It's so bad. If they would have came out completely masked and eventually over a period of maybe a few weeks have one of them unmasked, and then there's Mia Yim, and then there's whomever, but come on, it is terrible.
Mark, if
Just
Retribution was
terrible.
a stand at Roots, what would it be?
It'd be that big fat woman that used to sell the little sun catchers over there across from the Amish leather worker. That's who it would be. That big old nasty woman that would sit there and scowl at people that walk by. Don't sit your drink on my stand. That's who it would be. That old heavy set woman. I don't know where she is now. I hope she puts her false teeth in backwards and eats herself to death because she was nothing but a nasty old woman. You nasty old woman. And and the sweet Queen Bee was right across from her too. That's what one of the sweetest people in there. The Queen Bee. They give her a honey, and she's sitting across from this nasty old woman, just scowling at people all day, going out for a 14th cigarette break by 6 a.m. Come on, this is carrying on.
Those heaters ain't gonna smoke themselves.
That's exactly
Mark.
what Retribution's
Woo!
Mark,
I get me fired up.
Be sorry if that upsets
That big old nasty woman used to sell the sun catchers. I'm sorry if that upsets you. And if that woman that sold the sun catchers is listening, I'm sorry. I hope you found happiness somewhere. I hope she may be up. She was at the Green Dragon too. Maybe she's still there.
Charlie, his
sun catcher lady.
A sad but sure point. He said, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, their debut has 3 million views on YouTube. So much like the Lana and
that's true. It's not going
Lashley wedding.
Yeah, he beat us. He beat us there.
We're wrong. We're all
It's not
as
gonna go
people.
anywhere.
We're wrong.
Yeah,
We
we're-
can't be trusted.
we
Take
can't-
it out of our hands.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know what I hate most about all of this?
What's
is
that?
one of us are going to end up with a goddamn shirt come Christmas time.
The logo's fine. If it's just the logo.
You know what, Jim? That's it. That's all I needed to hear. I want a Retribution shirt.
The logo.
Dude, you look great in a Mace
Better
shirt
than
when they come out with a
And I
Mace
have
shirt.
this.
Not a bad
Get
point.
ready for your T-bar shirt.
My second
T-bar
shirt purchase was this.
Right, but it was a grab bag. You didn't like choose that.
No, but this is what I get from
accidental.
AEW. Thank you.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been one that had legit boss like this on the chest.
Like not even the size of my cell phone. It's See, WWE shop. Yeah, I think you guys screwed up here. No, that's the right size. Really, really.
Yikes!
Like my left tit is bigger than the legit boss on this T-shirt, and you're telling me you did it right?
Oh man, I just found the worst
that's
shirt
a
in
shame.
wrestling history.
Oh, what's that?
This ding dong hello shirt.
Oh yeah, I don't even get that, and I watch SmackDown every week.
She calls people ding dongs.
I guess, but
ding dong hello.
I liked the know your role model. That one
Yeah.
was cool.
That's cool. Instead,
I don't even know who that ding dong hello shirt would belong to.
Same person.
Bailey. Ding dong hello.
T-bar.
Charlie says I'm willing to bet money. One of the five of you has a retribution mask by the beginning of the year. Probably because
If it fits my face, maybe.
nothing on that shot fits our fat heads. Let's be honest. It's going to be Matt or Mark because they have the smaller heads. All right.
I really don't.
He's like, please, my head's huge.
It is.
All right. This week on social media, The Rock published a video YouTube channel talk about possibly coming back for one more WrestleMania match and who he would face. He said, feels like the one that would make sense would be Roman Reigns. In terms of box office draw, I'd be honored not only to share the ring with Roman to go back to the WWE, but to honor to have him raise his hand in that one. Roman then responded on Twitter at The Rock at WrestleMania. Jay Uso at Clash. My responsibility is putting our family's name on the top of the card in center of the WWE universe. So as we're seeing the development of this new Roman Reigns, would you guys want to see as not an end game because obviously Roman's not going anywhere, but would you guys be up for a Roman versus Rock match at WrestleMania? I think the story tells itself, just between being in the family, the Rock having to come in and save Roman at the end of that Royal Rumble when he was getting booed out of the house. I think there's a lot that can be told there. I think it'd be a fun match and a fun story, especially if what they're doing with Roman right now continues. Ryan.
Yes, I don't want it at the top of the card, which is probably where it belongs. But I don't want it like main eventing. I feel unless there's a championship strap attached to it. But I feel like you just need to.
I mean, I don't think Roman's losing that thing anytime soon.
That's a fair point.
But that
I don't give a shit. I mean, people will watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's got it. To me, it has Mania main event written all over it. Tim.
I don't want this anywhere near anything.
Oh, okay.
The Rock, to me, this is going to sound like some sacrilege. The Rock now is too big for WWE. Too big. He's got too much stuff going on. Having him come down, it's not going to do Roman Reigns any favors. What will it do? Y'all, everybody complained when The Rock buried Bray Wyatt, even though he didn't even touch Bray Wyatt. He beat up Eric Rowan. So what the heck is he going to do to Roman Reigns? Like,
I feel like he would put Roman over though.
As that, I
You'd
feel like
think,
Roman would win.
you'd think, but would he? And like when would you do it? We're not
Think
gonna
of the shirts with the eyebrow and the fist.
Sure, great. Like looking like broke Popeye, yeah, it'd be really great. But like, when are you gonna do it? Like, are you gonna do it this WrestleMania and possibly in front of 30% capacity SoFi Stadium?
Selling networks, pal. Goddamn.
Cool. Are you gonna wait a year, and then The Rock is another year older, and you're gonna do it then? No. If anything, you give him a face-to-face, let The Rock be strong where he is, have The Rock spar with Paul Heyman with their words. Maybe you get a little slappy-do on SmackDown.
A little slap and tickle, huh?
Yeah, and that's it. Like, no match, just an altercation on television on Fox. That's
okay.
it.
Pop a rating. Okay. All right. I kind of see where you're coming from. Matt, how about you?
I don't necessarily want to see it, but I see why it would make sense. Be kind of what they wanted to do with Batista back at 30. Have him with the strap as he's promoting Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, Black Adam's coming out soon, so The Rock can casually have his title while he's doing press junkets. It would make sense. I think he would eventually put Roman over, so that helps. But like Tim was saying, like, Roman doesn't necessarily need it. It doesn't do anything for Roman. I know why The Rock would pick Roman. I know why it makes the most sense to have him face Roman. But if he's putting someone over, it shouldn't be Roman. It should be someone else. So if he's not going to face Roman, then he shouldn't come back.
Charlie kind of likens it to like Rock Hogan. I don't think to quite to that level because, you know, I don't think Roman's where The Rock was and Rock's not where Hogan was. But
well, yeah, I think Rock is far beyond where Hogan was.
Yeah, but I mean, just like from just a wrestling only standpoint, I think but it kind of has that feel. Like, and if it happens, I think it would go on last. Devin's in your camp, Tim. He doesn't want to. Doesn't want to.
The difference is that Hulk Hogan's biggest appeal is being known as a wrestler, as being a WWE guy. There's a bunch of kids right now who think The Rock is the dude from Fast and the Furious or Jumanji or
the
Escape from Witch Mountain.
Maui.
The Tooth
Maui. The Tooth, like, literally, they don't even know he wrestled.
That's a great point.
Like, he would be like, well, yeah, The Rock is an action star, cool, but it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't have the same feel as, like, bringing him back. It wouldn't have the same appeal to wrestling fans the way that Hogan to Rock was.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I can kind of.
It would just be like when he came back last time and took the title from CM Punk,
and then buried Bray Wyatt. Mark, any thoughts?
Well, I don't necessarily need to see it. I'd be okay if it happened as long as it didn't have a year build up like the Cena Rock match at WrestleMania did that year. But if it happens, that I'd be okay with it. But it's not something I have to see. But Tim makes a really good point that there's probably a large amount of kids out there that have no idea that The Rock was a wrestler. So it would bring a lot more eyes to the WWE product, maybe just temporarily. But
hey, that match was once in a lifetime.
It's not something. Yeah, once in a lifetime that happened twice. Boy,
once, twice. Come on, quit getting technical with it, okay?
So if it happens, that's great. It's not going to sell me on pay-per-views. I buy pay-per-views based on the taglines that go with them, not the matches.
God, I hate you, Mark, so much.
Hey, Clash of Champions Gold Rush this Sunday. Your award-winning WWE Network, baby.
Get that
I'm
gold
all
rush,
into
baby.
Gold Rush.
Mark,
All
we are into the 10 o'clock underground moment. You are not safe making those comments.
Do you guys want me to hit the news and rumors quick?
Yeah, let's hit it. What
right,
what you
let's hit
got?
it. Well,
What you
the apparently, if you guys didn't know, COVID-19 is still a thing.
Huh?
And it's still impacting the wrestling world. But there was an outbreak in the NXT world around the Performance Center, and then also AEW. You know, the place that has the tight ship. You know, now they have an outbreak. Lance Archer out, and one of the guys that was on the Late Night Dynamite, he's tested.
Ben Carter.
Yeah, Ben Carter. Apparently, numerous others have tested positive. So, you know, it's just a very real reminder that this thing is still out there, still is a thing. So you probably want to wear those masks and not be stupid. You know, still want to do the distancing, but it's something to keep an eye on because obviously it impacted Dynamite last night. Although it gave us Moxley versus Kingston, which was a fun little thing. But hey, wins and losses matter. 1-1, Eddie Kingston got a world title shot. You know, wasn't even in their top 5 this week, but whatever. That's just me. Any
all these flavors, Jim.
Man, so salty.
I mean, he didn't get eliminated from the Battle Royal, so technically he would have been the runner-up to Lance Archer, which is why he got the title shot.
I'll tell you what, Jim probably doesn't need Blue Chew. Just shitting on AEW gets him in the mood. Where's Mrs. Jim at?
Yeah,
we're getting there. What else? What else do we got?
His laptop is raising. It's weird.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Young Bucks.
Oh, Young Bucks bad.
Young Bucks bad.
They're just throwing money on people.
I actually kind of almost enjoyed like the dickhead Young Bucks, but not enough to consider myself even close to a fan. But continue. Wear your masks.
Buy James a Young Bucks shirt for Christmas. Got it.
That's right. All 4 of you probably already did anyway. Okay, so last night on NXT they aired a promo, a mystery person teasing a return of the brand at Takeover 31. There was like voice distortion, whatever. This is what was said during the promo. I'm not sure what happened. I helped create something out of my own blood, years and years of dedication to be taken over by paper champions. These NXT championships have been in isolation for far too long. Now I've come back. The takeover is mine. Who do we think is this person that is returning to NXT to kind of reclaim what is theirs? Ryan.
I don't have a goddamn clue.
Okay, Tim?
It's Bo time. Bo Dallas.
If I can get another goddamn Believe shirt. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, Bo Dallas makes the most sense since Neville's still under contract elsewhere, correct?
Is he? I don't know what his status is.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah, he's with AEW, I think.
Is he?
Okay, I didn't know how long he was signed
He's
there.
stuck overseas.
Yeah, I think he's stuck overseas, which why he hasn't come over because the quarantine time and things like that. For me, yeah, I mean, I thought Bo Dallas. I thought, which Bobby Roode in NXT is infinitely greater than symbol Bobby Roode in any other part of WWE. Charlie says Bo Roode or Sammy. Devin has Bo Dallas as well. I would love it to be Bo Dallas. I mean, the dude's super talented. I love the Bo Leave gimmick, but after that, it just kind of, everything kind of got muddled for him. So I'd be totally in favor of him getting a reinvent down there. I mean, I think a guy like, I even think guys like, like Kevin Owens and stuff. I mean, but they're all too relevant up on the main roster. So you got to think about guys that aren't really relevant too much down there.
Did the promo say that they were a former champion?
He said, "Take back what's mine."
It said these NXT championships been in isolation for too long. Now I've come back. The takeover is mine. So it didn't
The
explicitly.
takeover is mine.
Yeah. So it didn't necessarily say championships.
Y'all are
but-
going to be real pissed when it's Charlotte Flair.
Yo, I can't wait, dude. Yo, I can't wait. Send it.
Sauce it.
Yeah. That dude, I could imagine. I mean, the Twitter would implode, I think. But I'm curious to see. And Charlie pointed out in the vignette, it was the original NXT belt as well. So
Oh, it was. Oh,
so if you looking at that, you think of a Bo Dallas.
what about Jinder Mahal? It was Jinder and Seth Rollins for the first ever championship to wrap up the tournament.
Potentially, but I don't think that was a takeover though.
That was not. No, that would have been. I don't know where the hell that was.
Details. I like the vignette though. Like I was watching AEW last night, and I just see people going like, "What the hell did I just watch?" So then I found video of it pretty quick. And then finally, the last news item I have over the weekend, it was announced AEW World Champion Jon Moxley will make his Bloodsport debut at the upcoming Josh Barnett's Bloodsport event, October 11th on Fight TV. Of course, he was supposed to compete at the event last year, had to back out due to the staph infection in his elbow. Some decent names, I think, but this one kind of really jumped off the page at me, and it's interesting. Part of me is like, kind of an interesting one having your world champion over there, but AEW, that's kind of their thing, is kind of letting their guys do some other things out there as well. So I don't know that the whole Bloodsport thing is necessarily my cup of tea, but it's cool to see guys getting opportunities in other places as well. Any thoughts on this?
One of the Vaudevillain guys are going to be fighting there. I think it was just announced today.
Who?
Is it Simon Grimm?
Yeah, it's Grimm.
Who the hell is this?
All right. Unless anybody has anything else to add, I think we can close this whole thing up. Tim, you got anything? Matt, you got anything?
I mean, I think it's really cool. Have you guys seen anything about Eddie Kingston's Grindhouse?
No.
Yeah, so there's essentially they're doing the same thing as like Bloodsport, but for Eddie Kingston, called Grindhouse.
Okay.
Looks to be really kind of cool looking, where it's just a bunch of dudes who aren't necessarily like the biggest name dudes, but are just like very much Eddie Kingston kind of guys, just guys who work hard, are underappreciated, are super talented, and now that King's got this opportunity, this big stage, they're catapulting, or they're making a big deal about that. So it seems kind of cool to me. Maybe I'll try to get some information and shoot it on over to you guys so you can take a look at it.
Yeah. I mean, when you first said Grindhouse, I thought about the Impact Wrestle House, and I was like, I have no interest in anything like that. But
see, my mind went to the Tarantino Rodriguez thing, and so I was very intrigued. So,
Was that Death Race and something else?
Jesus Christ.
I don't fucking know. What are we talking about? I wasn't listening.
Death Proof and Terror Planet.
At least you're
Yeah,
on.
Death Proof. I was close. I had the word death right. Happy Halloween.
I mean, they didn't parody it in not another T movie, so it's fair.
I wouldn't know.
I'd give you a pass.
I actually was watching that other day. I just wanted some background noise while I was working on some stuff.
It's a great film.
And I sent it. I sent a picture of it to Ryan, and I'm sure it made his day. Charlie says, I highly recommend going out of your way to find Mance and Cabana Man Dan from a week or so ago. It's a great match with a couple of Easter eggs. Okay, we'll check that out. Charlie, if you can also find, if you can find a link to it, throw it there in the comments as well. It'll be easier for everybody to find. Yes, Ryan.
Real quick, we're going back to the NXT thing. How long is Samoa Joe wrapped up for with his injury? Looking through everybody, that's the only one that really makes sense of the former champion.
I was gonna say, creepy Uncle Jerry's back on commentary, so I guess potentially it could be a Samoa Joe.
Joey Samoa
would not oppose that.
What's Kevin Owens up to these days?
Well, he was hosting the KO show with the best in the world this past Monday, so he seems to be doing all right for himself.
Who?
No, stop it.
Okay, I know we're already over time. All right, let's get to the plugs. Ryan, you got anything to plug?
We're into 3 Count Thursday Underground. I'm all for it. Let it go.
That's why Shane's here.
That's why he's here, folks. No, I don't fucking have anything. I don't do nothing with my life. It doesn't matter.
At RYN Eagle on Twitter. Tim, what do you got?
You can find me at Not the Tool Man across all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat if you care, twitch.tv/Not the Tool Man. We're streaming again. I'm probably gonna play tomorrow. Play some more Super Mario 64. That ish is hard on the Switch. It's making me hate my life every so much that I play it. Also, if you're into podcasts and wrestling being a little bit older, Final Wrestling Place at Final Place Pod on Twitter. Find it wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Anchor, whatever. This season, season 13, we're doing it live. We are doing 8 episodes from the perspective of us actually being there, whether it be Marcus and I or a show or an event that you guys have been to. We'll watch it, review it, and either put it in the good place or the bad place. So check it out where you can. SoundCloud.com/Final Wrestling Place.
Matt, how about you? What do you got?
So I am actually doing stuff on Instagram this week, so check it out. We are featuring some posts from a sponsor of ours, Clean Eats, but I did say I would be doing stuff for Hispanic Heritage Month this week featuring Reina Dorada, so give her a follow. Masked wrestlers, in my opinion, are always really awesome follows because they do a lot of cool stuff with their masks and their outfits. As Hispanic Heritage Month continues on, I'll be repping a shirt each week. This is Valentina Vasquez of WSU CZW fame, guest of the show a few times as well. So give her a follow as well. Vals_N_Tina_V. I probably got all of that wrong, but something along those lines. So no Notre Dame this weekend, so I might try to film a watch along. I know we kicked around the idea of doing the Boy Meets World episode with Vader, so hey, maybe that can happen on Saturday. Jim, I know you're free now too, so
COVID.
So otherwise you can follow me on Twitter. It's at 3CT, the letter A, Philly as in Philadelphia, the number 8. And of course follow the Instagram page for Woman of the Week, more sponsor stuff, and fun posts that we throw up when there's random holidays. Mark, what's the random holiday today?
Today is it's National Punctuation Day! Exclamation point.
That sounds about right. Anything?
How about that?
We'll leave it. You know what? We'll leave it at that. That sounds like a great way to end this thing. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports to follow the show. We are at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 3CountThursday.com. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the show. Buy some merchandise. Use our collar and elbow brand deal. Go to our Patreon. But stay safe, stay smart, and go where the pin.